906 Outdoors is brought to you by Cooking Wild Seasonings. Make it fresh, make it yours. Well, it's the dead of winter, and that means snow and cold. Sometimes the best way to warm up is to think summer. So put your feet up, the remote down, sit back and relax. It's a nice warm summer day, and we're going fishing.
Hey! All right!
Then we're going out for a fish fry. And we'll do some smallmouth fishing on the Menominee River with Hall of Fame fishing guide Mike Mladenik.
What I'm doing is throwing this jerkbait just on the edge of the grass, and I'm letting it drop a little bit.
Stick around, it's time for 906 Outdoors. 9 million acres of forest, 1,700 miles of continuous shoreline, 4,300 lakes, 12,000 miles of streams, more than 300 waterfalls, 15 counties, 2 time zones, and 1 area code. Welcome to the Upper Peninsula. Welcome to 906 Outdoors. "906 Outdoors" is brought to you by Cooking Wild Seasonings. Make it fresh, make it yours. We decided that the evening's dinner was going to be a fish fry. And we all know that fresh fish is the best, so we decided we'd do some camping and catch dinner ourselves. So we hooked up the Yellowstone, grabbed some fish breading, a can of beans, threw some beer in the cooler, and headed out. We didn't really have a plan, so we decided to stop at the local restaurant to have some breakfast and further contemplate our possibilities. We didn't really come up with a destination, but decided we'd start with a direction. If our bill ended in an odd number, we'd head west. An even number, we'd go east. West it is. As we cruised along, we concluded that we shouldn't really need to go far to catch dinner. Something in the crappie, bluegill, or perch department sounded tasty, and easy enough to make happen. Bluegills, and close by, narrowed it down to Stromberg Park on Hardwood Flooding near Hardwood. After setting up camp, which doesn't take long with this setup, we headed for the water with all the optimism necessary to complete our mission. We'd catch a few bluegills or crappies for dinner and spend the rest of the day just fishing for fun. It wasn't long and we were on the bluegills. A little small, but where there's small ones, there should be big ones, right? Wrong. Aside from one mediocre sunfish, we couldn't seem to surpass the miniature mark. The 2.5-inch bluegills were relentless. Worm eaters. But hey, we still had time. We just needed to find the spot. We just needed a few fish to make our dinner complete.
That ain't dinner, I can tell you that.
The weather was great. Nothing but blue skies. But that was going to change. The ominous sound of thunder in the background meant that Carl was right again, and rain was on its way. Each cast became more important. I could feel our fish fry dwindling away. In my head, the picture of a plate full of tasty breaded fish with a side of fries and beans was slipping away. Soon it was obvious that our fish fry was a goner. As we headed for shore, my vision of fried fish gave way to grilled hot dogs. As anyone who makes their living in the outdoors will attest, rain is just part of it. If we only went out on the sunny days, we'd spend a lot of time at home. But when you're in a canoe powered by a couple of paddles, you don't really want to get caught on the wrong side of the lake. And when your headquarters is an 11-foot camper without a canopy, well, rain sucks. So our fishing was cut short, which meant no fish dinner tonight. This also meant that our trip would now have to include another day. There's the silver lining. Eventually the rain did quit, at least for a while, which gave us a chance to relax by the fire and put together a plan for the following day. Lo and behold, my buddy Jim called. He and some friends were heading out in the morning for some walleye fishing on Portage Lake. Now, Portage Lake is a long way to go for groceries, but with a hesitant guarantee from Jim that I'd be eating walleye for dinner, I couldn't resist. Since Jim already had a boat full and I'd be heading out in the morning before the birds started to sing, Patty decided she'd relax at the campsite and wait for me to bring home the bacon. So, at the crack of way too early, I headed for Chassel. 906 Outdoors is brought to you in part by Blades Bait and Tackle, your year-round connection to fishing bait Enoch. Portage Lake cuts across the Keweenaw Peninsula with access to Lake Superior on both ends. I'm here to film, I'm here to fish, but most of all, I'm here to catch dinner.
Yeah, we're out here today with my buddies Kim and Howard. Howard from the Shady Game Farm.
Yes.
And we've been lifelong buddies for hunting and fishing together. Not chartering yet, so we're just out fun fishing. So we're gonna see what we can do. We had a real nice day, I don't even want to say that, the other day, but we'll see if we can find the fish that were here the other day.
Trolling this?
Trolling, yeah. Yeah, right through the nose. Massage it out. Poke it through. Take a little piece off. Throw it in the water.
Portage Lake. It promises great fishing for pike, smallmouth,
Regularity.
perch, crappie, and of course, straight from my dinner menu, walleye.
So we're gonna run this on a board, like a number 3 split shot.
I could see it already. Bing bang, a couple of walleye, and I'd be back on the road, heading for a campfire and a beverage.
There! All right. I thought I had a bite. That on camera. We talk about being able to throw when a fish bites. Right here.
Now, after the previous day of not-so-lunker bluegills, that perch ain't looking too bad.
At least somebody catches a fish.
That's right. You ain't gonna believe it. You know what that is? White perch.
Baby whitefish.
Whitefish don't have fins like that. Oh, God. Boy,
Here, let me take it off.
it's got a real pronounced lateral line on it.
Wonder how that would taste.
Come on, Howard. You gotta catch all the fish. Yeah, I don't want to catch There's a perch. All right. Well, keep that one. That's big enough to keep. Oh. That'll go along with my little pike.
Okay, maybe a nice perch dinner would work.
Hey, way to go, Howie. Fill the box.
Now I was starting to get nervous. With my optimism at a low point, I was already trying to convince myself that tonight's hot dogs would be delicious. And then, there it was.
Slow, Howard. Go slow, please. I got to get this in first. Keep coming. Just keep reeling slowly. Reel slowly.
Decent walleye.
It's actually a walleye.
It is a walleye.
Lift.
Hey! All right.
The next.
All visions of campfire hot dogs evaporated instantly. Catching fish is great, but I'll admit, all I could see was fillets.
Yeah, open it too.
Yeah, I'm taking my time. Like I said,
Lift. Lift. You got 2 lines. Lift.
Hey, look at that baby. There's a walleye.
He had it T-boned on 2 hooks here. That's why he was coming in so hard.
I didn't see that.
You can only keep 1 over 23 inches. This is what you want. 3 of these and 2 big jigs.
We got a big
Quite a tight line now, so keep your pins.
Oh, look at that baby. Nice.
It's another dinner.
There's another dinner. Nice one.
On the stern planer. It's still 20, there's 23. It's a cookie cutter.
Oh, we got another fish on here.
Another fish.
The middle one.
Good time.
When he's coming out, I don't want him.
Back at the top,
Hey! Those are pretty nice
Nothing
cedar.
wrong with that one.
That one's a flicker minnow. Reel. Lift.
Oh, there we go. Whew. Beauty.
Take my fish, give me a hug.
Nobody else was taking it, hot shot.
You want to know what grabbed a hold of that fish?
The walleyes continued to bite. It proved to be a worthwhile trip. I'm not real picky when it comes to a fish fry, but fresh walleye is hard to beat. We eventually made it back to the dock, cleaned some fish, and I was on the road with the soon-to-be fish fry in my cooler. 906 Outdoors is brought to you in part by L&M Fleet Supply, proudly serving the Northland for over 30 years. Before I knew it, I was back at the campsite and ready to cook. I'll shut up now and let you smell it and taste it for yourself. Well, it took more than we anticipated, but we got our fish fry. Through it all, the driving, lots of paddling, some tough fishing, a handful of snags, a pile of worms, and a bunch of rain, I certainly did my share of complaining. The Chasso may seem like a long way to go for this, but I didn't go for that. I went for this. In the end, we were eating fish. And we were eating it in the woods, by a campfire. And yes, that fish fry tasted as good as it looked. We got to spend a sunny afternoon on a gorgeous lake. I got to do some walleye fishing. Spend some time around the campfire. And we got to spend some precious time camping. Today's show is brought to you in part by Rapid River Knife Works, home of Michigan's largest custom knife factory showroom. Menominee River is one of my favorite places in the UP, and over the years, I've spent a lot of time filming there with my friend, fishing guide Mike Mladenik. I had the chance to get back on the water with Mike for a warm summertime morning of smallmouth fishing.
Today we're on the Menominee River, of course, my favorite place to fish. We're going to look for some summertime smallmouth. We might be fishing with soft plastics, we might be fishing with topwater baits, maybe some spinner baits. That's the thing in the summer, you got to be prepared because you never know what you're going to catch them on. Hardest part is making a decision on what to use. One deadly tactic on the Menominee River here in the summertime is fishing stick bait. This is a 4.5-inch bait. I'm going to work it wacky style. I got an O-ring, but here's the trick. Before I actually hook it up, I want a little more weight. This isn't heavy enough because it's kind of moving in the current. What I'm going to do is I'm taking a tungsten nail weight and placing it just in the center. And now I have more weight to my wacky worm, and it's going to allow me to get deeper into the water column. Because one thing to remember, when you're using a wacky worm, what you're trying to do is imitate the crawfish that the smallmouth are feeding on. And crawfish, you don't find them halfway up or on the surface, you find them on the bottom, so you got to get your bait down to the bottom. So I hooked it through the, under the O-ring. I don't go through the worm. And why it's called wacky, as you could see, how it kind of just flutters a little bit. What I'm doing is I'm lifting it and dropping it, so I'm getting a little movement. And believe it or not, it gets the smallmouth attention, and especially a bait like this. It's kind of green pumpkin. I got some gold flakes on it, and it does resemble a crawfish moving in the water. Right in the shade where we're supposed to be. There we go. Little soft plastic jerk bait. Go get your mama. Fishing into some slop, a little heavy weed cover, so I'm gonna just put just a basic weedless frog. Nothing fancy, but the important thing on the Menominee River, use these frogs. I like them with the paddle tail. These got pow, 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 pow action. That drives these smallmouth and largemouth, for that matter, too, crazy. What I'm doing is I'm throwing this jerkbait just on the edge of the grass, and I'm letting it drop a little bit. Smallmouth don't like to go real heavy in that real heavy grass like the largemouth do. They hang on that edge. So I twitch it across, twitch, and when I get to that end, I just let it drop, and pow, that's when this thing hammered it right there.
Feel free to join us on Facebook or visit us at 906outdoors.com. Thanks for watching, and we invite you to join us next week for another adventure right here on 906 Outdoors.